Sacred sites shrouded in ancient legends and mysteries. Places which, based on beliefs, are vested with unearthly powers. What did those who built them believe? How did those people see the world and their place in it? A group of scientists from Mazar University, researchers of Kazakhstan National Geographic Society, travelers and writers have embarked on the expedition to pierce into their mysteries. In this episode, what was Isabek Ishan famous for? What place does the Mazar complex take in the life of local residents? What is the role of sacred families for the steppe Kazakhstan? Clearly, Kazakhstan is the annual expedition of Kazakhstan National Geographic Society. We investigate various sacred places of our country under the Rukani Jangiru program. This expedition is really important because for me personally it's going to be the first expedition around Kazakhstan and beyond the city limits. The country is still a terra incognita for me. My thesis was based on the pilgrimage across Kazakhstan. The locations we will hit are the actual and operating sites of religious pilgrimage.
I'm an anthropologist.
For us as scientists, it is extremely important to think about the cultural heritage of the society in which we live and work. I participated in similar projects in Tajikistan, and now I want to explore Kazakhstan. We have many holy and sacred sites in Kazakhstan. At times, it's quite difficult to specifically identify what a sacred place is. A nature site, an ancient or a more modern location. This year, jointly with Mazar University, our expedition plans to go to 6 sites in central and eastern Kazakhstan. The expedition's outcomes will lay the foundation for the atlas of sacred places of our country with detailed descriptions. The first target of our expedition is the city of Ekibastuz. From there, we will go to the aul or village in Kazakh of Akkol, where the mausoleum of Isabek Ishan and descendants is located.
Stuck in the middle, oh my, for another one. I feel like I'm living low. Feels the time go, I feel so little. Oh my, I may as well never go.
This exposition is devoted specifically to the sacred places of Ekibastuz region, including the area called Akkol Jailma and the mausoleum of Isabek Ishan Kazrat. Isabek Ishan Kazrat was an educator, philosopher, priest, and a prominent religious figure of the 19th century. Allegedly, he arrived in Akkol Jailma area in the 18th century and was the person who actually promoted Islam across the territory of present-day Pavlodar region. But there is the notebook of one of Isabek Ishan's descendants, namely Muhammad Khoja. In Arabic, it is handwritten. We have it here. We don't have any idea about the development of Islam during the Soviet time, which makes it a rather important source shedding light on how people representing Islam and other faiths dealt with the overall religiously hostile environment at the time. During the Soviet period, Islam was undergoing change and was adapting to the surrounding conditions. But it was present for sure. Our work requires scrupulous engagement with local population. Often people were merely afraid of keeping any books in Arabic in their homes. We're like putting a puzzle together. Some of the sources come from Russia. We are trying to put them together and restore the processes of Islamization in the region. The area that we know as Akkol Jailma has multiple locations associated with the names of famous saintly personalities. For example, the mausoleum of Isabek Ishan Kazrat. The uniqueness of Akkol Mazars, or tombs of the saints in Muslim terminology, in my opinion, lies in cultural interlocks. Here the tradition of honoring the ancestral spirits characteristic of nomadic people is manifested in the fact that his descendants are actually engaged in what their great forefather did. The nomadic population extensively used the Soviet-coined terms the Institute of Ishanship and the Institute of Peers, or spiritual Sufi leaders. What we observe in the steppe Kazakhstan is that the phenomenon of peers was closely linked with sacred families. That is, with Kodja families who considered themselves descendants of the house of the Prophet. Akkol Mazars are very interesting. The mausoleum of Isabek Ishan Kazrat, for example. He was a teacher and a visionary who lived in the 18th century. He taught Islam to local population. His descendants remained to live in the same area, directly in the village of Akkol and the village of Tot-Oy. We met them. We are now in the Mazar mausoleum of Isabek Ishan, his relatives and descendants. You can see the 3 burial mounds, 3 burials, with the central one belonging to Isabek Ishan Muratali. This is the grave of Muhammad Niyaz, Isabek's younger brother, as well as the grave of Nur Muhammad Isabek Ishan Ali, the son of Isabek Ishan. This is the evidence of the existence of the cult of Holy Family. This Mazar complex testifies precisely to this, because these were the attributes of that culture: a sacred place and a family tree, Nasab Nam. So all of them remained in Akkol, although it would seem that only 90 kilometers away from Ekibastuz, this area would undergo heavy industrial development. In spite of the fact that the first burials occurred in the 19th century, the building is in a surprisingly good shape. It's no secret that in 2011 they built a new building. It's also unique in its own way. As far as I can see, this stone is Mangistau shell rock. Despite all twists and turns that this sacred complex had endured, it is still very important for the local population. It became an integral part of cultural and historical heritage of Pavlodar region. Akol is not letting us go. Akol is constantly revealing more new secrets to us. Each trip gives us more details about the religious commitment of local population. The Sacred Sites of Kazakhstan project will continue